Hello everybody, I'd like to welcome you to my channel today. I wanted to talk about making your own gratitude book, a diary. Writing's very powerful. When you write, it sort of solidifies everything and it makes it clear for you, and it's also very visual. So when you write it down, it looks back at you, doesn't it really? And I want you to consider doing this. And the reason is not because of the diary part or even the writing to a degree, it's the intention you have and where you put your focus. Because I think that when we put our focus on good things and our blessings, then we become a more positive person and our life is actually seen in a more positive light. However, when we put our focus on all the bad stuff and all the difficult things and stay in that space and don't have a counter to it, then our life can seem very negative. So it's actually a really positive experience to write about what you're grateful for every day or every few days. I suggest the first thing you do is find a way you'd like to record it. You can get a book or a notebook. It's sort of nice to have a nice one in there actually. And you can have it on your computer, or you can do a little notes digitally somewhere. It's sort of up to you how you do this part. The most important thing is your intention and then to write down what you're grateful for. Sometimes you can do it every day. I think it's better probably just to have a diary idea where you just put it in when you can, because we're all busy and some days it's more things to be grateful for than other days. You just write it down. I used to just, when I was a little girl, I had a very difficult childhood, and I actually remember that I'd go to bed at night, and every night on my 10 fingers I would write in my head almost, or say outside in my little bedroom there, all the things that I was grateful for. And I feel on some level my little soul knew to do this, just to keep myself like that I could cope. When you get your first book or you set it up, do it any way that you like. Don't give yourself a number of how many gratitude phrases you need to write. Just do it organically, and you'll find you'll repeat a lot, and that's fine too, because you're actually going to be strengthening, and also it'll make it much more clear what are these things that every day that you have in your life, and then you'll add some. The gratitude book's about also revealing to yourself what's important, because when you see it, you see what's important. I usually do who I'm grateful for. I usually do what I'm grateful for in a practical way, like having a house and having enough food. I do very practical things as well because they make your life better. I also do what I'm grateful for, my abilities to do certain things, if you have gifts. And then you can also do a wider one, like you can be grateful that you have music in your life or that you go dancing. And then when you do your family, you could be grateful for certain members in the family who do things for you or you do for them, and the people that you love. You can also be grateful on a world level. So you can write about, I'm grateful I live in a safe country. I'm grateful that I'm able to do some charity work. I'm grateful that I can send healing to different parts of the world and prayers. Gratitude is very good because it sort of stops you being so much of an ego person. Because society is pretty interested in money and success and who you are and looking good. This isn't about this. This is about a humbling of yourself and being grateful for what you have. It also keeps you in balance with what other people don't have. I think I live in Australia, but I think a lot of us live in what we call the lucky country, where we are fairly safe and we have enough to eat and shelter. And we can take that all for granted because there's so many people in the world who don't have that. When you first start doing it, you'll find it's kind of easy. As you go along, you'll find you'll have a lot of repeats, but that's okay, all right? And then you'll have some additions. And it's something that you might want to make for a friend of yours. If you have some friends or family who are struggling to keep happy and see the positives, and maybe their life isn't so easy, you could make them a little gratitude diary and give it to them. Just buy something and just tell them this is what you can do, and you can do this when you feel like it. And very interesting when you look back on your diary, you'll see there'll be progressions, and then there'll be times when you can see you struggled that day and maybe you only wrote 4 things, and another day you wrote 12. It's very good to also go back for reflection. I think it's good to date it. You can make yours into an actual diary every day. You do it at night before you go to sleep or when you wake up. Or if you don't do that, do date it, because you'll find that interesting too. I want you to think about making this for yourself, and I want you to start doing it. There is something about the written word. They just keep saying, from a scientific point of view, that it's so powerful. And many people actually read back aloud what they've written, and that's very powerful as well. So off you go, new year, new gratitude diary for you, and a focus that is a grateful focus, not an ungrateful focus. You'll hear the ungratefulness in people sometimes. Just before Christmas, somebody I know had given someone some socks, and they were a bit expensive, but the person wanted them to have the special socks. And instead of saying, oh, they're wonderful socks, they said, what'd you buy that for? That was too expensive to pay for socks. And the first thing I thought was, he was so ungrateful, because that person went out of their way to buy these super duper special socks for them, and they were completely ungrateful. Whereas they could have said, they're great socks, and they're really expensive, weren't they? Thank you so much. It was just a different focus to be grateful. Well, I hope you're enjoying your festive season, and I hope that next year is good for you. And let me know how you go with your little diary. Remember, I'm also still sending free healings. I'll always be doing that from now on, actually. So if you need any healing around anything, you just message me. Okay, sending you lots of love and lots of light.